let's talk about semislugs. Now, we've all heard of snails, we've all heard of slugs, but what the fuck are semislugs? Semislugs are kind of just what they sound like. They look like an intermediate between a snail and a slug. And while that is what they certainly look like, that's not exactly how they work. They're not an intermediate in evolution between a snail and a slug. They are their own thing with their own distinct families and lineages of evolution. Now, much like snails and slugs, semislugs are in the class Gastropoda within the phylum Mollusca, so they are related to snails and slugs. And they do, like snails, have a shell, but unlike snails, they are incapable of retracting themselves back into it, which is where they get the more slug-like characteristic. Now, there are many types of families and species of semislugs, and they're all varying morphologically. Some of them have a very distinct and visible shell structures, but unlike a snail shell, again, the semislug cannot retract itself inside the shell for protection. And some of the shells are barely visible and are most, if not entirely, covered by the mantle, the kind of, flesh part of the snails and slugs and other gastropods, again, including the semislugs. And these semislugs are also quite diverse and can be found pretty much all over the world, where you can find other gastropods like regular land snails and slugs. And again, while this does visually kind of look like what happens when a snail and a slug has a baby, they are their own distinct things with their own distinct evolution and are very cool in their own right.